dreadful. It's a terrible photograph. You take it down. Is that? Are we going? We're I didn't say that. Honestly, I didn't. Don't look at her picture on Facebook, because this woman who doesn't use makeup is she's not on today at all. Fragrant as ever, dare I say. Never get rid of the potpourri of wonderment. No, this is Joanne Callan, as you well know. Joanne is from our Destination Wellbeing program. It goes out at 3 o'clock in time every Thursday.
Yes, and Tuesday.
And Tuesday as well. Yeah, wow, you're a cracker.
Yeah.
That's great. You're expanding all the time.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's this thing about makeup?
I suppose any social media fans out there had their pages bombarded yesterday with photographs of girls. It started, I presume it was an awareness campaign for cancer research, although it wasn't actually the cancer research charity that were behind it. And it just, like all things social media, took off yesterday. And by yesterday evening, I mean, it started with one or two, I think, sort of maybe Monday, after Tuesday, Wednesday, there was one or two. And by last night, I mean, it was just totally bombarded. And the idea behind it was, I think, no mask was the
no
word.
mask.
So no mask, that when anybody's suffering with cancer or whatever, it's just, it's exposed and let it out there. So and there was more and more girls posting without makeup, and then by last night it had spun round as well, and the girls were posting without makeup and boys were being encouraged to post with makeup as a bit of a
why would you go with a no mask philosophy and then ask the men to be masked?
Well,
you know,
I think it was a bit of a jump in the bandwagon, and it was humour, and
it is humour.
It was just as
but I never liked makeup on women, because it's a plastic barrier between flesh. You know, if your boyfriend is going to kiss you, or if your girlfriend out there is going to kiss you, ladies, I have to be politically correct with you all nowadays. But if that's the case, if you're going, you don't want to be kissing plastic.
Oh, well, that's...
or you don't want to be embracing plastic.
You know, and I suppose increasingly as we look at, you know, I mean, there's an ad on telly there a while ago, and I think it was about teeth, but before they got actually to the teeth part, you know, the girl had come in and she'd taken off her false eyelashes and she'd taken out her hair extensions and she'd taken off all of these layers, and then eventually she took out her teeth, and they were the one that was, and they were just, the idea was, you know, obviously to make sure you're looking after your teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. So the campaign has hit, as well as the photographs being posted. People are being encouraged to donate by text.
Yeah. But that's what it's all about.
To research. So that's what it's all about. And I think in some of the photographs that maybe got lost, and there was just more photographs appearing. Yeah. But it was actually really refreshing, and I noticed a number of girls posting last night that they didn't actually recognise who was in the photographs, because they were so used to seeing. I mean,
now you've told me that you don't use much makeup.
I don't use, very rarely.
But there's a photograph of you on Facebook this morning.
Yes.
And for the life of me, I didn't recognise you in it. It's not you.
Well,
it is you.
I promise it is me.
But I mean, seriously,
and it's certainly not without makeup. But it's probably lighting.
The fun is fine, and it's great. But the serious thing is there. I only heard yesterday, I had people in talking about motor neuron disease, and the drug companies are not researching it to find a cure, because so few people contact the disease every year. It's not worth their financial time to do it. So motor neuron disease sufferers, you're being totally supported by the association that raises funds voluntarily, and there's no money in it for the drug companies. That's what the chairman of the association said yesterday.
Well, and that's, I mean, that, I suppose there's the other side of that coin, that there's a part of me would probably see that as quite refreshing, because my fear would be that drugs companies have a lot of cures that they don't release, because they make a lot more money out of the medication that it takes to maintain somebody. You know, I mean, there's chains of thought out there that there's that the cure for AIDS, if anybody really wanted to find one, would have been found long before now.
Cancer as well.
Cancer as well. It's actually the money that's made from maintaining people on drugs for lifelong periods of
Yeah.
time is more so. The cynic in me would probably say that if organisations like the Motor Neuron, as charity organisation, and that, you know, to start to look for, and I don't know any off the top of my head, but to look for natural alternatives that aren't linked to the drugs company, and obviously that requires research as well. But it's, I mean, even just recently, I've been reading so much research around coconut oil and Alzheimer's disease.
Wow.
And they really are pretty certain that coconut oil can and does prevent and reverse Alzheimer's disease. But it will never, the patent that has went in from the drug companies is a component of coconut oil, which will no doubt be charged at extortionate amounts when the coconut oil naturally contains it anyway. So
they would say, they're not here, and if they were here we could toast them. Oh no, we could question them. They would say that they need to make the money to do further research and to invest in research and all of that. And it's you can understand that, but if there are these calls being made basically on profit, it's not such a good idea. It's not such a good idea.
Yeah, as I said, it's getting the balance right.
Yeah. What have you got in the program this week?
This week, on my program that goes out this afternoon is we've a lady in. God, my mind has gone completely blank.
Wow!
Absolutely, totally blank.
She's a farmer from Indonesia who grows coconuts.
Oh yeah, totally.
And you
we're going to
import
chat
them
about
here,
coconut.
and you squeeze them here in your
Speaking
in your
of
factory.
memory and things coming back into me.
No, this happens. But
yes, I have.
We range so widely in our conversations.
We do the conversation. I have a lady in this afternoon, Rosalind Bell, and I believe you had Rosalind in yourself a few weeks ago.
Rosalind.
On the Woman Inspiring Women.
Well, she's an interesting lady.
Really very interesting, and a very interesting story.
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, this month as well, the promotional campaign around cancer awareness is prostate and ovarian cancer. And Rosalind actually was diagnosed with cervical cancer herself and overcame that. So there's a very inspiring lady and really worth listening into this afternoon, and even getting involved in the Woman Inspiring Women concept here in Newry, because the ethos and the idea behind it, I think, is very, very positive. And we talk about different elements of sort of women coming together and how important that side of it is, and for all aspects, for mental well-being, for motivational, for support, because society has changed so much.
Oh, totally.
We don't always, the community that we have is...
I had a woman in here yesterday, a lady she manages the health visitors of Northern Ireland, or of our area, the Southern Trust. And we were playing the piece out today, but she was talking about all the things that health visitors do for women who are pregnant, through from pregnancy right through to the child is 5 years of age. And I said to her, I will never figure out how I existed at number 5 Mary Street as a child and young boy without all of this, these health visitors coming and all. So society has changed.
Society has changed, and I think that's the point, you know, is the Mary Street and so many of the old communities in towns and villages throughout were very community based, and women
looking after each other,
and women had their own community. I mean, I know Mummy would have talked about, like, Granny would have got up, she'd family of 10, but she would have got up in the morning, she may have went to Mass, she met her friends after Mass and chatted and talked, whilst my grandfather was off at work, and he came home at lunchtime and his lunch was ready. And you know, it was very, but my grandmother had her time, and the women had their time.
And dare the man put the foot into it.
Yes,
that
into
was their
that
preserve.
time. That was their,
you sit down, yes, over there, and your woman, you know, and all the rest of it. You know the way they put on.
And
there's an English comedian used to do that. But if there's a serious underpoint, you make the serious point of the importance of
of
groups of people having a bit of chit chat, and a bit of support.
With similar experiences. Often now, I think, maybe because of cars and things as well, and not saying that we all have cars and we all need them, but you drive to your front door, and you most often now park in your drive or you park in the street, but you mightn't see one person in that transition time. Whereas when people were walking and there was a more social element. You
Yeah.
might have met somebody, like again, my granny would have walked down the village every day, and she would have met her friends, and
It kept her going.
that was a bit of chit chat and home then.
I
And
said this to you before, you have a great wise head on you. Amazing.
but we don't have that, so I think when we don't have it naturally, there's more need for the formal structures to support women. But on that side of things, I still think peers and community and friends and neighbours are as equally as important as
You
the role
said
of
they're
the health
supporting
visitor
women.
person.
What about supporting men?
Well, that's
It's a serious enough question.
Oh,
you know,
it certainly is. Yeah.
Because it's not readily admitted that men need support.
No,
you know.
and men don't readily admit that they need support.
Yeah.
I think one of the things actually that has come up a couple of times in conversation for me the last few weeks, and just yesterday evening I was speaking to a man who was saying that he doesn't drink. I don't know if he's a pioneer, but he doesn't drink. And he said that actually what he felt himself was that he had missed out on the social side, or the idea of being able to go to a pub just for a pint to have a chat to somebody, where it's quite socially acceptable for a man to go into a pub, you know, particularly rural Ireland and things like that, when we look at that aspect. And obviously that has changed with drink driving laws and stuff as well, but obviously it's not socially acceptable for a woman to walk in and pop herself at a bar. But
isn't it?
But a man who's at home of an evening by himself, should he decide to, can quite easily take himself into the pub and sit, whether he sits over a glass of orange juice or a pint. A woman doesn't
And
have that.
fundamentally, the reason for that is fundamentally she's afraid of being accosted.
Yeah.
Basically that.
Either she's afraid of being
uninvited attention.
Yeah, she's either afraid of being accosted or she's afraid of having a reputation. One, you know, I mean, I would say I could fairly handle most men that might accost me. If I was to go anywhere, I could probably shoot it off. But if I was sitting in the Canal Court or any establishment on a Wednesday evening at the bar having a pint or having a drink, I don't drink.
Somebody would talk
People
rubbish
would
to
be
you.
saying, well, they would talk rubbish to me, or they would say, look at your woman, who does she think she is?
They would do that too.
You would have such a reputation that, whereas a man really does have that outlet, and I think it's with moderation, I think it's a very positive thing.
And it's mostly men would make that sort of comment. You know, this is why I dislike, I don't go to pubs, I don't mingle with men, I just don't. I mingle with me. Because, you know, I would forever, being a father of many, many children and grandchildren, girls, I would be forever protective of your right to do that. Yeah. And I think it's appalling that men will, it just is, men can be appalling.
Women, I mean, if there was the right girls sitting there watching me sitting at a bar by myself, women can be as hard.
And women can not only,
if not harder,
and hard in the sense of being troublemakers. Because and you know, I've often heard it said, and I can demonstrate it, that where a group of women are together in a certain situation and there's trouble occurring, the women will exacerbate the situation, will drive it on.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're generalising a bit as well, and not all women are the same, not all men are the same. It's important. But actually, there's research that shows that women generally, back to the makeup thing, women will wear makeup not necessarily for men, but for other women, or when they're dressing on a night out. It's not to do with men; it's about their peers as such.
Just to be up there with to be the leader of the pack, to be the best they can be. That's good
and which is a good thing, yes. Yeah. And when it's coming from the right place, if it's coming from a place of confidence and high self-esteem, rather than I need to look a particular way because
it's never good in life.
It's getting the balance.
It's never good to be doing things in a quest for well-being or a quest for happiness for other people. No. You got to do it for the little person in here. Yeah. And once then, no one can hurt you.
And that's it. And as I say, the woman inspiring women concept is around that. Is about getting yourself strong enough, and that's where the woman part comes in over women inspiring women. It's woman inspiring.
We had a bad news week in Newry, didn't we? Eddie Hockey gone, and the young man from Mr. Small out in Mayo Bridge gone in the helicopter crash. It's left Newry shocked, hasn't it?
I think it has. Yeah. I mean, and I think actually. There's almost, I observed yesterday that nearly other than, I mean, the papers came out earlier, obviously the Democrat and the Reporter came out this week, but really there seemed to be an awful lull in the talk from Friday, and I think that's the shock. Because normally these things get sensationalised and they're talked about and they're talked about and they're talked about, but I think it's the shock that has left almost a silence on it.
I think so.
And I know there's no news of
it's the aftershock of the explosion, of the awfulness that is good.
Yeah.
The remains aren't home yet, but they're coming
so
home, and the funeral of I don't know about the young man of Mayo Bridge, but I think possibly early next week in the cathedral there'll be Lord Ballyedmond's funeral. We don't know yet, but we'll bring people the word of it when it comes. And obviously our sympathy goes out this morning, and our condolences to the two families in Mayo Bridge and Ballyedmond.
And indeed all four, there
all
was
the others who
four
went as
families
well.
But,
great tragedy.
It is, and I suppose it shows you just how life can change in just a minute, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's important to bear that in mind, you know. Keeping everything in context is important.
It just the blink of an eye and
you're gone.
It changes, and not just are you gone, but the world of everybody around you changes as well. That's that.
And it makes it also proves the point. No matter how important you think you are, no one is indispensable.
That's it.
You know,
as the saying goes, the graveyard's full of indispensable people.
That's right.
Who felt, you know. So it's that. But it is very sad and I suppose an uncertain time for many families in the local area as well.
Well, anyway, wish them all well.
Yes, indeed.
Wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Don't bother with that makeup again. That's Joanne
Certainly
Callan.
not the one from my photograph last night, although there was no makeup.
Destination Wellbeing here on Destination Newry. I'm Rowan Hand, and you're our guests from all around the world. Sean's going to play some music now.